So it's early June and quite a number of shrubs which have just finished flowering can do with quite a little trim up. And the reason for that is that when you look at this Weigela, you can see that the flowers have appeared on last year's growth and that new growth is forming back on the stem, and actually we want to get more flower next year because where these seeds are forming and where these flowers have been, you won't get as much flower next year unless you prune it all back and prune out the old growth back to leave good new growth like this, which is where the flowers will appear next year. On this piece here you see there were very few flowers and you've got a nice bit of new growth, so that's fine. But if we look on this branch here, actually we haven't got any new growth and the new growth is coming further up the stem. So we just need to nip that out and remove it. And the other thing we find looking at this Weigela, which is supposedly variegated, is that actually it's reverted to having green leaves, although the flowers are the same here and there. So we need to snip out those bits which have reverted, and it's only just the odd branch that's performed like that. But when we go further into the bush, actually there's quite a big bit of reversion here, which we certainly don't want. With the plain green leaves, so there's quite a bit of snipping out to get rid of here. But if we go on a bit further, and I mean here is a classic branch with not very much new growth, but the new growth is appearing further back. So why not work towards that, because that's where the flowers are going to be next year. And we can be quite finicky about it and just take out little bits here and there, or we can take out larger pieces where we find a nice bit of new growth coming further back and there. So let's thin that out back to that new growth, and then we'll just get more flowers next year. Now it's going to take quite a little while to get right through this plant, and we've got a bit of a kibia growing in the top of it as well. But it's not just Weigelas that you need to do this to. The same is true of Buddleias and Deutzias and Philadelphus. By just removing the old flower heads and the old growth, you'll encourage the new growth which will produce the flowers next year. It takes a bit of time, but you'll get a substantially better performance out of your plant. It'll take me a little while yet to finally get rid of all these bits of growth which have reverted to green rather than being this nice mottled variegated yellowy white leaves.